All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing? Matt Moda here with OddsJam, here to give you some NBA player props to lock in today, Monday, January 3rd. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Let's get into it. So, of course, using OddsJam, using the positive expected value page to find these player props. Gaining an edge over the sportsbook is incredibly important if you want to actually make money sports betting. If you're just doing it for fun or whatever, then it doesn't matter. But if you want to actually make some sort of profit, then finding an edge is pretty much a must, something that you must do. And that's exactly what OddsJam provides. It's an edge over the sports books that generally have the edge over you. How? By charging a vig, right? If you just look at two sides of any market at all, minus 115 on the over, minus 119 on the under. No matter how you slice it, the sports books are charging either 15 or 19 cents of juice on this play. If you add that together, that's like 34 cents of juice. So how do the sports books have an edge? By charging the vig. So gaining the edge back, as I mentioned, is incredibly important. And that's exactly what OddsJam does for you. So everything is kind of derived from these no-vig odds that you see here, which are currently at plus 100 for this play, which I should say, Paolo Banchero under 26.5 points is the play for this one. It's bolded. It's got the blue rectangle around it. That is the hint saying that this is the profitable bet you should lock in. So these no-vig odds, the reason why they're so important is because they're pulled from the sharpest sports books in the world, a weighted average with the vig removed from the sports books that consistently do the best job at pricing odds. So when it comes to sports betting, I'm assuming everybody watching this knows that all sportsbooks are going to have different odds for every play. But what isn't always known is that not every sportsbook is going to be the same in terms of pricing odds, meaning some are better than others. So OddsJam back-tested thousands and thousands of betting opportunities to determine what sportsbooks are consistently the best. And that's exactly what feeds into these no-vig odds here. So if you kind of think about it from the whole view of the whole thing, these five, whatever, let's call it, sports books consistently do the best job at pricing odds. So we're going to use them to set the market moving forward. The logic being, if we can get better odds meaning a higher payout than what these sharp sports books have as the market, or has the market priced at, then that's something that's going to be profitable. And that's exactly what's happening here. So the gap between these two numbers, between the plus 100 and the plus 105, there is your mathematical profitability. Now, that's not me saying that I blindly lock in every single play on the positive EV page. There are some that I decide not to lock in. And the reason why, it's all about comparing the odds of the bet you're placing to the rest of the sportsbook. So in this case, we're placing the Bet365 line at plus 105 odds. So you want to start with Pinnacle. Pinnacle is the sharpest sportsbook in the world in terms of pricing odds. They're given the heaviest weight to these no-vig odds here. Now, I don't compare only to Pinnacle, but they're a start. And this is a good start considering they have it at minus 115, pretty much even money each way, right? Pinnacle is telling you that they think, that this is a 50-50 market. I know that because the over and the under have the exact same pricing. The over's at minus 115, the under's at minus 115. They're charging the same amount of juice for each side, which is them telling you they think that it's a 50-50 outcome. They don't have a side favored. And remember, we're getting this at plus 105, which means that plus money, meaning we don't have to win 50% of our bets in order to be profitable. And then look at DraftKings, minus 115 each way. BetMGM, minus 115 each way. Caesars actually favors the under. They have it as more likely. So all in all, and you can ignore PrizePicks and Underdog because they're DFS companies, so they have the same implied odds for everything. So all in all, regardless, this plus 105 at Bet365 is a pretty good price when you compare it to the entire landscape of the betting sportsbooks, which is something that you want to do because you want to make sure that you are betting on an outlier. So play number one, Paolo Banchero under 26.5 points, plus 105 odds at Bet365. Next up, so the Fultz one I decided not to lock in because I did not deem it to be a big enough outlier compared to the rest of the markets. Like Pinnacle had it at plus 125, pretty close to the Bet365 line, so not locking that one in. The next one that I will lock in is Jakob Poeltl under 24.5 points, rebounds, assists. This is at plus 102 odds at BetRivers. OddsJam perfect line prices this at about plus 101, a little bit below plus 101. So a smaller gap between these two numbers, but still a gap nonetheless, and still looks good when you compare it to the rest of the sportsbooks. BetOnline and FanDuel have it at 50-50 each way. BetOnline, which didn't have odds up yet for this Paolo Banchero one, is another very sharp sportsbook. So we use kind of Pinnacle and BetOnline as two of the sharpest, and we give them the heaviest weight. Has it at minus 114 each way, which is them telling you they think it's a 50-50 outcome, which we're getting for plus money. FanDuel, same thing, minus 113 each way, having it priced as a 50-50 outcome, which we're getting for plus money. And then PointsBet has it at minus 110. They still favor the over, but give heavier weight to BetOnline and then FanDuel as well. So play number 2, Jakob Poeltl under 24.5 points, rebounds, assists, plus 102 odds at BetRivers. Next up, again, these plays did not deem them to be good enough outliers, so not locking them in, trying to be as selective and as good as possible. Next up, we are looking at Franz Wagner under 1.5 made threes, plus 125 at PointsBet. So looking at the rest of the markets, you want to start with Pinnacle at plus 106, 19 cents lower. BetOnline at plus 109, 16 cents lower. And then pretty much every sportsbook except for BetRivers and FanDuel, which I've noticed as I've been doing these videos, for whatever reason, BetRivers and FanDuel seem to, or in PointsBet, those three seem to be aligned more often than not. They also seem to be outliers more often than not. Because if you look at every other book, odds ranging between plus 105, plus 104, plus 105, right? Clear outlier here, all the books in the plus 120s. So this is going to be my third play for today, Franz Wagner under 1.5 made threes. Next up, we are looking at, and this is the last play, so the fourth and final one, a little bit of a shorter video today because I didn't have as many plays, but don't want to force stuff just for the sake of having plays. Next up and last up, DeJounte Murray under 1.5 made threes, plus 125 at PointsBet. Pretty much the same thing here with PointsBet, FanDuel, and BetRivers all being close together, with every other book being pretty decently below them. Starting with Pinnacle at plus 106, BetOnline at plus 110, and DraftKings at plus 105. All pricing it pretty decently below the PointsBet number at plus 125, as well as the other two. So that's going to be it for this video. So if you're locking in these 4 NBA player props, comment and let me know. Would love to hear it. Again, Matt Modi with OddsJam. If you want to find me on the social medias, you can at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here, Jedi Modi. You can find me on Pickett as well, where I post a lot of my plays, and I'm pretty sure have my entire betting history opened up. So if you want to check that out at Pickett, you can at OddsJam_Matt. But that's it. So I'd appreciate it if everybody could like the video, subscribe, helps me out a ton, and have a good one.